What Yasmin says and other people say tonight, people see our faces, they know who said it. I'm sorry to say this, but nobody knows who you are. They can hear your name, they can't see you. If I say something stupid on television tonight, people know it's me saying it. If you do, with all due respect, you can disappear and no one knows.
What happens when two differing perspectives collide? How can we navigate conversations that challenge our beliefs? Today you will experience a fierce debate between Douglas Murray and some Muslim women wearing niqabs. Douglas Murray, a well-known British author and commentator, has made a name for himself with his penetrative critiques of multiculturalism, Islam, and identity politics. Known for his intricate and often controversial perspectives, Murray's analyses spark debate and introspection on a range of socio-political issues, including the role of the hijab in Western societies. This encounter raises important questions about cultural identity, freedom of expression, and the complexities of dialogue.
Can I just begin with you, Fatima?
Yes.
56% of British people don't really support the wearing of the full face veil in public. They don't want it.
Well, I think it depends on where you take the poll, really, because, something that I've recently launched is a project called Secrets of a Muslim Woman, and it's all about letting people know why we do what we do, because I think a lot of it is to do with not really being familiar with it. You know, I mean, my message to the British public is that you've got nothing to fear. You know, this is a piece of cloth.
They don't feel that, though, do they? Because elsewhere in this poll, a majority said they don't know how to relate to a woman wearing a full face veil.
I think, you know, the people who have actually interacted with women who wear the face veil, people who work with them. I mean, we're in East London today. In East London, the veil is practically, you know, normal on the streets of East London. People who've actually interacted and worked with women who wear the veil have absolutely no problem with it.
Now, the point is that, despite widespread public opposition to the full-face veil in Britain, Fatima, a Muslim activist, is determined to challenge misconceptions and promote understanding. Through her project, Secrets of a Muslim Woman, she aims to shed light on the cultural and religious significance of the veil so that it dispels fears regarding this hijab and fosters empathy. Well, Fatima is hopeful that she will successfully bridge the cultural divide and encourage a more tolerant society.
Well, I think, like a majority of British people, I think that it should be banned in public places, particularly places like courtrooms, where it's absolutely imperative that a jury are able to see the faces of people who are accused. As for an overall ban, I think, look, my own opinion is that niqab is highly undesirable. I think that we live in a society where people do show their faces, where huge amounts of our social interaction depend on people showing their faces. I think that it's very difficult to enforce a ban in public places like streets, but it should be certainly a desirable thing to discourage its wearing.
To impose a ban, but in principle you'd like to see one because you think in Britain it's unacceptable.
In public buildings, in courts, in schools and places like this, absolutely, I think a ban would be very sensible. In streets and so on, I think it's difficult, but it should be societally discouraged.
Douglas Murray took an opposite approach that shocked the women sitting there. He argued that the full-face veil should be outlawed in public places, particularly those where facial identification is required, such as courtrooms and other official settings. So in his perspective, a ban is necessary to maintain society's unity and public safety. Furthermore, in such a culture where open facial expressions are essential for effective social engagement, the full-face veil undermines these core values and impairs communication in social contexts. According to him, he was totally on the right track, but the women who were part of this debate were ready to prove him wrong.
No, a ban, I mean, I think it's a complete overreaction. Look, the niqab has been part of the British landscape for the last 20-odd years, okay? Muslim women have been going about their business. We've got a radio presenter here, we've got a scientist, we've got talented Muslim women who've got a lot to give to this society, who've been doing so and been very sensible about it. When we need to remove our face veils, we do it. But how do you think we get through airport security?
I mean, what about the fact that 56% of people are saying they don't want it here?
You know what? I'm not surprised at all, because when you know that high-profile politicians making such offensive comments and big fuss about it, I am not surprised when the public say they are against it.
We show our faces.
Exactly. The British society, the fabric of the British society is respecting the public freedom. Public freedom is part of it, the religious freedom.
What about the fact that people feel uneasy? They said they don't know how to relate to women who have their faces covered.
First of all, let them interact with us. Let us be open and engaging with them. This is number one. Secondly, 80% of communication in the world does not involve face-to-face. Twitter, Facebook, phones doesn't involve face-to-face communication.
Fatima neglects the calls for a ban on the full-face veil as a disproportionate response. She argues that Muslim women have been active and valuable members of British society for decades, making significant contributions without posing any threat. She emphasizes the importance of personal interaction and understanding to bridge cultural divides, challenging the notion that face-to-face communication is the sole means of human connection. Fatima points out that in today's digital age, a significant portion of communication occurs through virtual platforms, demonstrating that meaningful connections can be formed without relying solely on visual cues.
Yeah, I think it is. And I also honour what Douglas Murray has just said. He couldn't actually feel comfortable, and, you know, I'm making a presumption here, but you couldn't say, let's do an outright ban. And that's great, because I understand you look at social cohesion. It's about looking at, let's isolate it. Whose discomfort are we going to favour? Because if I lift my veil, I'm then uncomfortable.
Another woman, echoing Douglas Murray's concerns, acknowledges the complexities of the full-face veil debate. While she supports the right of individuals to wear the veil as a personal expression of their faith, she also raises questions about the potential discomfort it may cause others. She suggests that a delicate balance must be struck between individual freedoms and the broader needs of society. By fostering dialogue and understanding, she hopes that a solution can be found that respects the rights of all parties involved.
Religious freedom is an extremely important thing. I think most people who would agree, I hope in this room, that Britain is the most tolerant place in the world to live, including as a Muslim. But let's just add one thing to this, if I may. The issue of social interaction is very important, and not just to me, but obviously to a majority of the British people. What I say tonight, what Yasmin says and other people say tonight, people see our faces, they know who said it. I'm sorry to say this, but nobody knows who you are. They can hear your name, they can't see you. If I say something stupid on television tonight, people know it's me saying it. If you do, with all due respect, you can disappear and no one knows.
Douglas Murray further argued about the crucial role of social interaction and the significance of facial visibility in building trust and fostering meaningful connections. He argues that anonymity, which can be afforded by the full-face veil, can hinder these essential elements of social cohesion. Murray posits that in a society where open facial expressions are paramount for effective communication and social interaction, the full-face veil can create barriers that impede the development of strong social bonds.
You are a psychotherapist.
Yes, I'm a psychotherapist.
But you deal with women who are forced into wearing the niqab.
Another thing I would mention to regarding communication, in the 9 years of counselling with Sakina Muslim counselling that I do, all of my clients, majority of them are all we do phone counselling. And a lot of good work is done. I don't see their face, they don't see my face. So it's not really about looking at someone and really connecting with that person, because we don't connect with the outer, we connect with the inner.
So you think the loneliness that you talked about seeing in these women?
A psychotherapist in the audience challenges the prevailing argument about the necessity of face-to-face communication. Drawing from her 9 years of experience providing counseling services to Muslim women, she shares that successful therapeutic relationships can be built through phone counseling, even without the benefit of visual cues. She emphasizes that genuine connection is made on a deeper, inner level, rather than relying solely on outward appearances. This perspective highlights the importance of human connection and understanding, regardless of external factors such as physical appearance.
The question is whether or not, and I would ask this of I think everyone in the room who's covered, do you think that by covering your face from everyone else in society, you are exacerbating difference or making it less bad?
Mariam,
would any of you at least recognise that you are exacerbating a difference?
Is this divisive?
Well, first and foremost, I think we need to look at human rights, okay? In 1998, there was the Human Rights Convention, okay? Under Article 9, it specifically says we all have the freedom of expression, we have the freedom of belief, we have the freedom of so many things that, you know, like in this country, I thought
Mariam, on Douglas Murray's point, that this is, you know, do you understand that many people feel this is divisive? It is a curtain between you and the rest of society.
Well, to be quite frank, I think people are free to feel how they want. It doesn't. I don't care how you feel. It's really no. Wait. really and truly, it's about my human rights. My human right, I am allowed to cover. You don't have to
just
agree.
Very briefly on the point that many people in the survey said that they feel unease, they feel uncomfortable, they feel anxious.
To be quite frank, I feel like that towards emos, but that's all right.
Can I just point out, there is something fundamentally ludicrous about somebody dressed as you are talking the language of modern human rights.
Absolutely.
What's a bit
fundamentally ludicrous?
Douglas Murray raises the question of whether the full-face veil creates a sense of division within society. A woman in the audience responds by emphasizing her right to religious freedom and expression, arguing that the veil is a personal choice that should be respected. She counters the argument that the veil creates a barrier by asserting that it is a form of self-expression and a way of connecting with her faith. She emphasizes that while some people may feel uncomfortable with the veil, it does not infringe upon their own rights and should be tolerated as a legitimate expression of individual identity.
Within the NHS. 1 second, please. You are a doctor within the... Excuse me, can we all listen to each other? You're a doctor in the NHS.
Yes, I am.
And obviously that is one of the very public places where a ban, you know, if it were to be considered, that...
Well, first of all, I would like to say that calling for a ban on niqab in NHS is actually talking about an issue that does not really exist. Because me and my friends, a lot of have been contacting a lot of doctors all across the 4 countries of United Kingdom, and none of them have ever come across a doctor who actually observed the face veil within NHS, or even a nurse. Exactly. So I don't really see that why an issue that does not really exist is actually being addressed. There is no one, or no doctor or a nurse who actually wears the niqab in NHS.
Just very,
even
very
myself,
on that point,
because
isn't that an acknowledgement that there is a difficulty for many people, that patients would find it uncomfortable?
No, it's not actually like that, because I am not given a choice to wear it within NHS. When I know it as a fact that if I wear my face veil and go to a job interview, I will never be taken up for a job.
In this heated discussion, a doctor with a face veil shares her experience within the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. She argues that calling for a ban on face veils is unnecessary, as there is no evidence of any practical issues arising from their use. She emphasized that they have not personally encountered any difficulties or concerns related to face veils during their interactions with patients or colleagues. However, the doctor also acknowledges that wearing a face veil might pose challenges in certain professional settings, such as job interviews. They suggest that societal biases and discrimination could hinder individuals who choose to wear face veils from securing employment opportunities. This observation highlights the broader social implications of the debate and the potential for prejudice to influence decision-making in various contexts.
Necessity upon you, but yet you say you go through an airport and it doesn't matter if you lift it. Is it so negotiable? In France, many of the women who said we cannot go out if we don't wear it have taken it off.
Can I just say,
Shalina.
you know, there is a place where we have the right to exercise our right. And if this was a school or a playground, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the bullies are winning here. There is a majority of people who have the power and resources to put out there an image about the niqab. I teach in schools, and I said to a young bunch of children, I said to them, if somebody came into your school, a boy, and he had nail varnish on, and he had high heels on, you know, and you seen him getting bullied, would you defend his right to be the way he was? Or would you ask him to change the way that he's dressed? Now, this is what I'm saying is, I said that I respected the fact that in context, you said in a courtroom, in the classroom, or in public settings where there are people who have got mixed opinions, that we should have policies and procedures that control these things.
Douglas Murray continues to debate the issue with a woman in the audience, questioning the necessity of the full-face veil and its potential impact on social cohesion. He argues that while individual rights are important, they must be balanced with the need for societal harmony and inclusivity. Murray emphasizes that while he respects the woman's right to wear the veil, he believes that it can create a sense of division and hinder the development of strong social bonds within the community.
Yes, and in a free society, the opinions of other people also have to matter. It's not just about you exercising your choice. The way other people feel about that should be of some concern to you.
But you know, these feelings are coming from negative prejudices.
We have
coming from
You don't want men's opinions?
No.
You don't want men's opinions?
I'm sorry, we are going to have to end it there. I'm really sorry.
Douglas Murray emphasizes the importance of considering the perspectives of others in a free society. He argues that while individual rights are essential, they must be balanced with the need to foster understanding and respect for diverse viewpoints. Murray underscores that while he respects the woman's right to wear the veil, he believes that it is crucial to acknowledge the feelings of discomfort and unease that it may evoke in others. He emphasizes the importance of open dialogue and empathy in bridging cultural divides and promoting a more inclusive society. This debate underscores the complex interplay between individual freedoms, cultural identity, and social cohesion. While there is no easy answer to the question of whether the niqab should be allowed or restricted, fostering understanding, open dialogue, and mutual respect can be a step towards a more inclusive and respectful society. By acknowledging the concerns of all parties and seeking common ground, it is possible to find ways to accommodate individual religious expression while also promoting societal harmony.